tonight we're going to create a very good tradition that will continue for many generations, creating stronger cultural, educational, and professional ties with Canadian citizens. As we begin our evening, I would like to invite our first speaker to the stage. And from Israel, please welcome Consular General of Israel in Toronto, Mr. Amir Gessen. Welcome.
Good evening. It's a pleasure being here for the second year. I have to tell you that when you look around this hall tonight, and you know we're all among friends, one thing comes to mind, and that is that you see in this room a very unique mixture of identities. And sometimes in each and every one of us you see a mixture of identities that comes together in one person. And it can be a Canadian, an Israeli, a Russian, a Ukrainian, and so on and so forth. Everybody is a unique blend. But the beauty of it, that it works well together. And at the end of the day, when we're here to celebrate the Taste of Israel, it's not just the Taste of Israel, it's the taste of Canada, and it's the taste of Russia. And I think that we all come together in one unique bond of friendship. And this is why I, for one, am very glad to be here with you today, to congratulate the organizers of this evening, and to bring you greetings on behalf of the government and the people of Israel. And I'm sure we're all going to have a great evening. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, let me tell you how pleased I am to be here in the city below Vaughan. It's a wonderful place to be here in the city of Toronto, but I do want to say that we are blessed to be able to share in the diversity that is, in fact, the Greater Toronto Area, and indeed the city of Vaughan. This is going to be apparently a culinary experience, not only that, but also a cultural experience. To have the incredible food that we have at the table. I noticed that my Italian heritage is very well represented through the bottle of San Pellegrino. That's always very nice to be included as an Italian. And some of my Italian friends, Mr. Aquino and his wonderful wife, are also here. They also said, you know, we thought that we as Italian Canadians could put a spread out, but look at this. This is absolutely incredible. But what's really important about food is the fact that we're able to share it with our friends, to have conversation, to find out a little bit about each other, and to share in that essence of what humanity is truly all about. I was talking to the Deputy Mayor of the City of Vaughan, who I would like to ask him to join me up here, Gino Rosati, who's doing an incredible job at the city. And Gino and I, above and beyond sharing our Italian heritage, we also share a deep affection for the State of Israel, Consul General. We had an occasion to visit Israel a number of times. We're going back this year. We also have a relationship with Ramla, and we want to make sure that the City of Vaughan, its government and its people, as you know, we have the largest growing Jewish community in the world, actually, in the City of Vaughan. So our ties are strong, but it's very important that we continue to foster that relationship so that there's even greater understanding of what we as people that inhabit this wonderful place called Earth can do together for the betterment of humanity. So to everyone here, I would like to express on behalf of the City of Vaughan, on behalf of Deputy Mayor Gino Rosati, our warmest and sincerest congratulations to the organizers for doing something that is extremely important, and that is to bring people together. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure for me to be here, not only to bring greetings, but to be here with friends. The first two speakers, both the Consul General and the Mayor of Vaughan, my mayor, good friends and good representatives, I think, of important sectors that all of us, I think, as a community, look up onto. I think the mayor talked about the wonderful meal that's before you and the selection of appetizers, and I think the kitchen is saying you haven't seen anything yet because there's more coming. But it's as varied as I think our community as a whole. The community here in Toronto, the Jewish community even itself, and that makes up really the international world. And I think the fact that we can come together and break bread together and socialize together is indicative, I think, of the kind of unity that I think we need today in the world. There are many challenges that we face. We who believe in democracy, we who love the State of Israel. The mayor spoke about the affection for the State of Israel, and I know he's planning at least sometime in the near future to visit in one way or another. Israel, I think, today has brought to the forefront the issue of the danger of terror, the danger of the anti-democratic kind of regimes that are trying to, in many ways, dominate the world and dominate the headlines, particularly Iran, but it's not just Iran. We see what's going on in the Arab world and elsewhere. Threats that are not over there, but threats that have an impact here. I think our government here in Canada, the government and the opposition understand that, and we as a community, I think, are beneficiaries of that kind of understanding, that kind of clarity about the problems that we face together. And I think together as a community, if we come together, we hold hands, we understand what the basic principles are that you, the war veterans, fought for many years ago, and many of those battles have to be fought in different ways, but are still very relevant, that we will win the battle. Whether it's the battle against terror, whether it's the battle against the delegitimization of democratic regimes like Israel and even Canada, we will win if we come together as a people, if we hold hands, and if we understand that our differences, just like the salads at the table, simply are parts of the whole. So congratulations to the organizers. May you go from strength to strength, and thank you for including me in this wonderful event. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I will be very short. I made a long way from Moscow knowing about this fantastic occasion to be with you, to feel the spirit of Israel, to support Israel, and to know that we must be together with Israel, which is very extremely important for all Jews in not only Jews, but for everywhere in the world to support Israel. So this is a really fantastic occasion. I would like to congratulate organizations which do it, and Canadian-Russian Jewry Organization. And I would like to present a very special book which was produced in Moscow for only 100 copy. This is it's Icons of Russia, and I would like to give it to Canadian-Russian Jewry Organization, to Mr. Anatoly Rosenberg, and to my distinguished friend Moshe Ronen. Let me give it to you. Can I?
Thank you so much for this gracious invitation. It is an absolute pleasure to be here once again, to once again reaffirm our commitment to Israel, to restate the importance of the values of freedom and liberty and what we are doing here in Canada. I am reminded at this time of year of those values because of the upcoming holiday of Pesach. And certainly after I finish this evening, I will be going home and following a long list of cleaning duties. But one thing that's always important, and that is to really think hard about the ideas of liberation, the ideas of freedom, freedom of thought, freedom of purpose, to write without recrimination, to run for political office without a knock on the door late at night, and to share our beliefs. And at City Hall, I want to assure you that I will always be standing there for Israel. And just a couple of weeks ago, for the second year in a row, I stood in the chamber where so many great decisions have been made shaping this city, and once again condemned Israeli apartheid and called it what it was, a demonization of an identifiable group, a preposterous accusation that must be countered at every opportunity. And while my colleagues were a little shocked the first year I did it, because I was a new councillor and they weren't quite used to that, I must say that this year, this time around, they applauded, because they know that it is important that we have respect and tolerance, civility, that we must reach across the table to all of our neighbors, regardless of their background or their history, and make sure that we have a proud city we call Toronto. Because we all know that civility leads to restraint, and that is what society is all about. And that is what Israel is all about. So once again, I thank you so much for this, this invitation. On behalf of the mayor and my colleagues at City Council, I want to just congratulate you on this fine gathering. And I look forward to connecting with many of you during the course of the evening. Thank you once again.
Shalom Aleichem. Здравствуй, как вы поживаете? Thank you all very much for, again, this invitation to this wonderful event this evening. I have had the pleasure of being here before. When I was running for office, I was always treated with such kindness when I came here. I'm not sure if it's because of my Russian roots or my Jewish roots, but here today we have a combination, a coming together, if you will, of two very vibrant communities, the Russian Jewish community, the Israeli community, and of course, I should say three very vibrant communities, the Canadian community. And the work that is done here, the ongoing work that is done here on behalf of Canada, on behalf of Eretz Yisrael, is so important. And it's so important at a time when there are those out there who will find ways to try and demonize, and as James said, delegitimize the state of Israel. That we stand together as one is as important a feat as I can think of. So I would like to thank the Mayor Bevilacqua, for the wonderful words that he told us today. I see my colleague and friend Monty Quinter is also here today, who has stood with this community and our community for such a very long time. I'm very much looking forward to finishing my herring and the caviar and the cognac and to have a good time. Thank you all so much for the invitation, and I look forward to many more in the future. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted, as always, to be here as we celebrate this Taste of Israel with the Russian Jewry organization. I was here last year, and I have to tell you an interesting story. My friend got 2 tickets to hear the Russian Army Chorus in Toronto. And she said to me, I got these great tickets for this great performance. And I said, there's no way that I can go. I'm going to a Russian dinner, and that comes first. She said, how could you possibly do that to me? I said, well, that's what's happening. Anyway, I came up here. It was an evening very much like this. And to my surprise and delight, you wouldn't believe it, but the Russian Army Chorus, when they were finished singing downtown, came up here, had dinner right over there, and then performed. By the time they got here and they did their performance, most of the people had left, but I stayed till the end. When I got back home, I said, how was the concert? She said, it was spectacular. I said, I know, I heard them. They were up at this restaurant. She couldn't believe it. But anyway, that's just an indication of the kind of work that the organizers of this organization can do, that they can pull that off. And it's a tribute to what they have been able to do and what the community has been able to do. And you know, as the only Jewish member of our caucus, and I'm now going into my 27th year as a member, I have seen a very dramatic change in the perception of the Jewish community in Toronto and their participation. 18 years ago, with my friend and colleague, who was a member of the opposition, Charlie Harnack, and I, in cooperation with Yad Vashem, started a ceremony where every year, when we celebrate or remember Yom HaShoah, we have a celebration at Queen's Park where we honor, depending on how many people Yad Vashem puts forward, a number of people who have come to Canada as survivors, have made their life here and contributed to the province. And about 6 years ago, I started another little innovation, because every year we celebrate or remember Yom HaShoah, and at the very end, they recite Kaddish. And I thought, well, that's something that we should do in the legislature. Now, that's a lot harder to do than it sounds, because officially, the only languages that can be spoken in the legislature are English and French. And if you want to introduce another language, you must get unanimous consent. And all that one person has to do, they don't have to identify themselves, is to say no. And the speaker will say, I heard a no, and that's the end of it. But no one has said no, and I recited Kaddish in the legislature. And I've been doing that for the last 6 years. And every year, without fail, when I go out to say goodbye to the Holocaust survivors, somebody is crying. And the reason they're crying is when we have the ceremony, we tell about their travails in the camps and everything, all of the brutality that they suffered. And they said, I can't believe my good fortune that we have come to a country, to a province, and to a city where I can go into the legislature and someone will say Kaddish. They said, I just can't believe that that has happened to us. So that is really a major sort of indication of what is happening. And I just want to leave you with one last thing that happened, which is also unique. Just about 2 weeks ago, my colleagues and I introduced a bill in the House to proclaim Jewish Heritage Month. And not only was it passed, but it was given second and third reading at the same time, which is, again, very, very unique. And it means that this year in May, which is Jewish Heritage Month, we will be able to highlight all of the cultural and scientific and other contributions that the Jewish community has made, and to highlight their role in this great province, in this great country. So again, I want to thank everybody for being here. It's my pleasure to be here again, and I look forward to many, many events with this organization. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm honored to be here on behalf of Mr. Ted Opitz, the Member of Parliament for Etobicoke Centre, who unfortunately couldn't be here because he is in Ottawa for the rest of the week, but he does send his greetings. I would like to extend my warmest greetings to all those attending the Taste of Israel celebrations, and a special thanks to the CRJ organization and all the participants for their steadfast commitment to building the Canada that we love. The CRJ organization encompasses the true value and spirit of Canadian multiculturalism while cherishing their cultural heritage and participating in Canadian civil society. It is by participating in events like the one being held here tonight that we can truly appreciate the beauty and richness of the cultures that make up Canada. Through sampling authentic cuisine, enjoying various art presentations, and through allowing various forms of cultural music to touch our souls, we can truly begin to understand how we are all connected and united in a common goal: to share, to grow, and to learn, and to continue to build a strong and culturally diverse nation where we can all continue to live in peace and harmony. As noted by Prime Minister Harper, our ethnic diversity is surpassed only by our unity of purpose. Regardless of our surnames, our native languages, our religious affiliations, or the quarrels of our ancestors, we are a people bound together by a common goal: to build a peaceful, prosperous nation. With my warmest regards, Ted Opitz. And I'd like to invite Isabella Sonnenberg here to accept these greetings.
Please sit, relax, and enjoy the show.
Mazel, tu prestes tijdens vreden. Vader, waarom sollst du mein Ziel? Aus mir fahren. Like a song of love that clings to me. How the thoughts of you does things to me never before.
He moves in space with minimum waste and maximum joy. City lights and business nights. When you require streetcar desire for higher heights. No